It's turn for protection. And the computer chimes. It's AfroEconomics Live in the middle of the day. Haven't done this in a while. I used to do the live in the middle of the day at noon. And then somehow, many years ago, I started that I would do it in the evening, and the evening stuck. I don't even know why the evening stuck. But the middle of the day, I don't know how the middle of the day stuck. But today at 2 o'clock happened because I'm traveling, and I was afraid that when I get to traveling, the signal might not be that good. So I said, I better make sure I go live while we're on Ethernet. So while I'm traveling, I may be able to play this again. And when you see this again, this may be a recording. But it was very important to me to do this. My husband was like, girl, why are you doing this at 2 o'clock today? You know we need to be getting on the road. But I said I really wanted to do this today because I'm on the road. And once you start doing something all the time, you just can't stop for some reason. So make sure that you ask the questions so that you will, if this is played again, your questions will be answered again. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Davis. As soon as I took down the chat, you said something positive. Didn't even get seen. But I felt it in my heart. Thank you so much, Miss Davis. I appreciate it. And we are going to talk very soon. I look forward to it. Miss Davis is Stone Mountain, Georgia, usually in the studio, but I didn't open up the studio today because I know that you all are working and doing what y'all do. What you do to make sure that this American economy continues to move forward. And that is the best way for investors to protect themselves, to continue to work. Yes, indeed. We should continue to work. And I was in a meeting a little earlier today, and we were talking about like retirement dates. And we were one spouse was like, you should go ahead and retire, sooner than later. And then the husband was like, no, I'm going to continue to work. And I was like, I feel that, and I look forward to working as long as possible. When you do a work that is not as physically, challenging, you really develop an appreciation of a mental capacity. So I definitely thank God every day for mental and growing capacity. Good afternoon, right back at you. I don't know why it says Facebook user, but right back at you, Facebook user. They're limited on their information that they're sharing today. But I appreciate you. Hopefully they will get themselves right so I can see your name again. But you are this is being shared on different forms of social media. But this is also live on our YouTube channel. And please subscribe and share to the YouTube channel and support that movement there. There's a full library of financial information. A key way to protect yourself as an investor is to do exactly what you're doing. Keep yourself in a positive environment of getting financial information from like-minded resources of people who are about moving forward financially, who are about sharing financial information and financial empowerment with you. Don't take for granted the power of positive association. No, it is very important that as an investor, you protect yourself from what you're getting in your ear. because many times people lose their way financially because of the people that they're surrounded by. A key way to protect yourself is to surround yourself with people who are in the financial situation that you want to be. The people that are financially healthy, the people who are healthy mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, the people that are holistically healthy, like just appearing to have money, but they're always sick mentally, is not enough for us here, because that's the people that you see now that are stressing out the most and are losing their way. And they'll fall apart under any slight financial duress and make decisions financially that will change their financial position forever. Like, moves that you'll make under stress can change your situation financially. If you can't manage your stress, and then you can't protect yourself financially. We have to learn to actually make sound financial decisions based on sound information. You have to learn to research and get facts, not go around and ask friends what they think. Like, most people are asking and making decisions based on thoughts and opinions of people that have absolutely no idea of what they're doing. No, they don't. So if your resource of your information is not valid, then you're not protected. Then you're vulnerable yourself. Then you're losing out. You put yourself at a disadvantage. There's no protection there for you or your financial future, because the basis or resource of your seed of your decision is toxic. What you're trying to duplicate is faulty. What are you trying to do? What you're trying to do is already messed up. So, like, a lot of someone was telling me yesterday, about how their supervisor's investment allocation is set up, and I was telling them that I hope that that's not true, and I don't even understand why a supervisor would go around and tell their staff how they're investing, their retirement portfolio. It seems to me that there's some sort of risk there, that they're not well trained, because if they're not a licensed financial professional, there should be something in the rule books that it says that they cannot, because that puts the business itself is liable and responsible to the employees. So many businesses that are top notch now are bringing in registered investment advisors like myself to let the employees know that registered investment advisors are who you should talk to about your financial future, not us. That this retirement plan is available to you, but we are not, your investment advisor. We're just making this available to you, and you talk to your advisor about how you put your money in there, not your supervisor. Your supervisor teaches you how to do your job. But so this lady was saying, Mr. Jefferson, how you doing? Mr. Jenkins, how are you as well? So she says, well, her supervisor, I'm going to open up the chat now, so y'all continue to make comments so I can come on the screen. Don't stop making comments. Now I'll put the screen up here. So she says the supervisor was telling her his investment allocation, which, I was like, that's horrible. And she was like, well, I'm just telling you what he said. So, but that's, not in her best interest to listen to the boss, about, unless you work, of course, at an investment firm and you respect the boss, investment experience and you think it's good. But other than that, that this is not, this was at a municipality. So he's out of line. And I think she really could get him in trouble. But we weren't going in that direction because I don't think that he had ill intent, but he was wrong. Like, you should not go that way with your staff. Like, you should not be doing that. Now, coworker to coworker, people do that all the time. And it's amazing how there'll be one dominant coworker whom people will do what that dominant coworker says. The challenge is that the dominant coworker is not going to help you play by play because that's not their job. So when the dominant coworker makes a different strategic move and they forget to tell you about it, you miss out and you forget to ask them every day, okay, so what we do now? Okay, so what we do now? What will we do now? So when they're down the road, like, you're ill protected. So I said that a key, when we're talking about like protecting yourself, a key way is that you should actually develop a relationship with an investment advisor so that you have someone to talk to that has your personal financial interest. That is the number one concern when you are talking to them. Your financial interests. You are their number one concern. That's what my job is to do. So a key thing for you to do as an investor is to develop a relationship with me, with a financial advisor whose job is to look out for your best interests as a registered investment advisor. That's what your goal should be for 2022. Not connected to a product, not working for a particular product, not whose job is to sell a particular product, but whose job is to look at you holistically as a person, your specific goals, and then help you reach your specific goals. Even if it's real estate, even if it's your business, even if it's, you just need to get your debts right, even if it's you need to get your credit right, even if it's you need to get, your retirement planned out, even if your registered investment advisor will take care of your specific need. That's how you protect. That's grassroots. Number one, we don't think that we deserve that, and we do. And that's the purpose of AfroEconomics. And we just skip over that. We skip over the fact that we deserve that. Like the other day, one of the members who was having a meeting yesterday, whose birthday? Happy birthday, Mr. Jones. And Mr. Jones, I was like, I said, oh, Mr. Jones, we're having a meeting. I said, Mr. Jones, today I have been working like crazy because my personal trainer canceled. And I was like, oh, I don't have to, and y'all say happy birthday to Mr. Jones, because he is always in the studio for me. So Miss Davis, if you're still out there, and Mr. Jenkins and Mr. Jefferson, y'all say happy birthday, Mr. Jones, right on here. He might actually be listening, but he's probably not because he's somewhere celebrating. He's probably still asleep, but he'll see it tonight. He's going to be like, well, Mr. Jones, we did not forget about you. So anyway, he says, I don't understand. Why does anybody have to have somebody to exercise with them anyway? That doesn't even seem like somebody would have to do that. And I said, well, that's how I protect my health. Because if I don't, I will work just like I did today. I will work. Thank you, Miss Davis, for saying happy birthday to Mr. Jones. I will work every second. But by having the appointment, but see, the trainer canceled. But when I have the appointment, I will go and show up to my appointment that I made with myself and the trainer to take care of me. To have that appointment. But if not, I will put my appointment with you before my appointment with myself. Unfortunately, sometimes too often. So when your money comes into play, you need to have your appointment with me. So I make sure that you keep your appointment with your money. And I'm telling you, it works. Because unless you think like, oh my goodness, how am I going to meet with JB every month? There's no way that I have to talk to her every month about something. And then the next thing you know, yes, we do need to talk. And something will come up mid-month and you find out that we need to talk even more than that. It'll be the allocation needs to be looked at. The next month, it's you have an adjustable rate on your mortgage, and oh my goodness, rates went up, and what can we do? Oh, the next month, oh goodness gracious, this particular this loan has a balloon, and what should we do, JB? And then the next it's, oh wow, I didn't expect this to happen. To bonds, I thought bonds wouldn't do this. What should we do about these bonds I have? The next month, oh goodness, I think I want some more technology stocks. What are your favorite? What do you think about technology ETFs? Oh, JB, So yes, you need to have that time scheduled for your money appointment. That is how investors protect their money, by scheduling time for your money. Invest in your money by joining AfroEconomics. Take that time for yourself. Thank you, Mr. Jenkins, for saying happy birthday to Mr. Jones. Yes, indeed. So I also wanted to point out that technology is not designed to replace the need for having an advisor to help you. An advisor can still help you protect you and your financial goals and your thoughts and your desires and all the investment goals that you have for you and your family and your legacy. But technology is there not to replace all of that, but to assist us. But now you see an emphasis in my industry for us to do as much as we can to separate myself from you. We are being programmed to put the machine between us and the customer because we know that we can increase our profits by getting you to go to the machine instead of talking to me. Technology is cheap. So if I can convince you to use technology and not have a desire to look at this video, but just trust the machine. Don't talk to me. Don't desire this. Don't have a need for this. Just let me tell you this, just go to the machine and put your money in. Go to this app, download the app, upload your money, and do what the machine tells you to do because I told the machine what to do, and then just do it. And that's if we can just get the whole world to do that, then everything is great. But the problem there is that you deserve more than that. So what frightens me is that the more investors settle for that, the less protection you have. The more you settle for just the machine, the less protection you have. And I need you to really process that you think that it's making your life easier because you don't have to talk to that. I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to talk to her. I don't have to make the appointment. I don't have to, talk to that advisor. I don't have to, pay that fee for that advisor. But yet people are paying more for the machine than they are to the people, and they don't even realize it, which is scary. You're not knowing it because we're not researching the information because of the ease of the machine. You're not taking the information to the person, Ms. Davis. Like, I was talking to a member, and she has been doing things through a machine, and she was just telling me about it. And I said, well, let me see the statement and I will show you how they make money. And she said, well, they can't be making money because I'm doing it all myself. And I said, oh, that's the key. But they're definitely making money. There's no machine out there that does anything without making money. The machine wouldn't exist. The machine wants to make money. That's why the machine was created, to make money. The machine just wants to make money without having to actually pay the person also. So it just gets you to cancel the person out and settle. But it's up to you to not protect yourself and ask the person about it. But you can't. I'm here for you, and I will investigate it for you. But it's up to you. And I've told you all about, like, the situation where the young man was using the machine and the machine wouldn't answer the phone. So he thought that he had lost a lot of money. So he wrote a letter to his parents and he apologized for losing all the money. And then he killed himself. And then when it was all said and done and his parents talked to a person, I guess they found out that the machine had made a mistake and he actually had not lost any money. He had made some. There are mistakes are made, but a person can get it straight. Yeah, Ms. Davis. The machine doesn't know you personally, and the machine makes mistakes. And you need a person to correct it. And people make mistakes too. And people have to correct the mistakes that people make. My goodness, so protecting yourself as an investor is to allow man and machine to work together. So but it's not an idea, it's not a good idea to buy into this idea that we should live in a world where you don't need to have personal interaction with advisors in your financial experience. You deserve it, you should demand it, and you should not interact with anything that does not have a customer service experience like that young man had signed up for. It should, if you put your money in it, it needs to have somewhere where you can speak with someone about where your money is. Hello, right back at you, Miss Fleming. Yes, indeed. And then also, I think it's interesting about this year. I was, thinking about things that I've learned like this year, things that we really have not thought about that have happened this year that need to be acknowledged just in this discussion where I'm just talking about different stuff. That look at the fact that bonds and stocks are both down this year. And look at how many people thought that by buying bonds, they were protecting their portfolio. and look at the, the fact that really the key to protecting yourself is that you have to stay on top of your money. Because the key to it, Mr. Dent, is that you have to stay on top of it. You have to make sure that you are always expecting the unexpected. Right? That's right. Always. Like anything. Like, I mean, how many government bond investors expected that the Federal Reserve would decide that this year they were just going to go on this rampage and just keep on increasing the interest rates? And every time interest rates are increased, it has an inverse relationship with bond values. So your existing bond values dip. So every time they increase interest rates. So protection, speaking of protection, so everybody that was out there was like, whoa, I just want all my money in government bonds because that's, government's always going to pay. They're always taking my money. Government's going to collect, Yeah, right. It was coming to, expect the unexpected. And then boom, many people, depending on when they got in their bond fund, there's some people, their bond funds over the long term, their long-term returns could be more than even their small stock fund returns because of bonds have taken such a hit. Like it just, but so there's, for many investors, nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. You just have to stay on top of it. You gotta have a person that you talk to that, when somebody says to me, like, a membership of AfroEconomics at $30 a month, and they think that that's expensive to have somebody to talk to, but you're going to go out and buy a sub and some French fries, when we shouldn't eat, that stuff anyway. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, for more, some craziness, something like, I don't know. You can't even get through a McDonald's drive-through window without spending $30. No, and you can do something that can like change the whole trajectory with $30 of your whole family's financial experience. That I don't know, but I can't say that I can do this forever. But if you don't take advantage of the AfroEconomics experience now, then you'll. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what else. I mean, there is absolutely nothing else on the planet that is comparable. Nothing. Show it to me. Just show it to me. It's not. There's nothing on this level going on. It's not. It's just not. And then, but yet we're still walking by and we're still settling and we're still not doing it. It should be so packed that, oh my, I don't even know. I shouldn't even, it's just sad. It's just sad. But at the same time, you got to think about it. What is the most least visited part of the grocery store? The part that we need the most. So that is in alignment with what God expects. We're not going to do what is most needed. So it is what it is. So, and then also, one thing I want us, to realize that when they talk about inflation is a personal experience. And you have to establish what your own price, cost of living, your own cost of living increase has been. And I saw something online today saying that Social Security might get a cost of living increase next year of over 10%, Miss Clements. So let's see what they do. Let's see what they do. And then also I wanted to talk about like how we protect ourselves is that we know how to adjust. We know how to adjust. We know how to adjust. We are very flexible as a people. No, so we really don't need to worry about like one of our meetings. We have our members only meetings every Friday, and one of the members were like, so if we're going into a recession, like what should we do? Like like I started a business in 1995, like in this business. It's always been a recession for me. There's not been any paid time off. There's not been any breaks. There's not been any like here black woman, here, here's this check for you and help your business. There's never been any of that. It's always been a recession for me. There's never been anything to help me move forward, to help me move, to help make it better, to help, to help. Now, it's always been like by the grace of God, the Channel 6 said, oh my goodness, oh, here's an opportunity. Like, here, would you like to be on our station? I'm telling you, that's pretty much how it happens. And they gave me a chance. Just like that. Just like that. And then the newspaper, the local newspaper, just out of nowhere, and this had nothing to do with black. Not us. I'm giving my whole life, my whole career, everything to black. But yet nothing about black has done anything to help me. Isn't that something? But I press on. For us. But is it, you know what I'm saying? But it is the grace of God that has used, the greater community to still see my commitment in making this world a better place. And how much I love our community. But it has taken white people to really see how much I love us and want to help us. And then, they say, like, good God, how does this girl do this? Like, she is giving her career. They see how much I sacrifice to do this and help us protect ourselves. like Mr. Fleming was like, how do you eat? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think there's, like, certain people that see sacrifice and there's certain people that just don't. And I worry about the people who don't see sacrifice. You better worry about them. You better worry about them. But I just really admire the people like Mr. Fleming and CBS 6 and the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Like, you know what I mean? The people that see people that are sacrificing or are giving and are trying to pull, you know what I mean? The community folk. Like, I admire that. Like, you know what I mean? Miss Davis and Mr. Dent and Mr. Jenkins, and Mr. Jefferson, Mr. Jones, you know what I mean? My husband, y'all see, Miss Clements, y'all see how hard I work. The Cotmans, y'all see it. You see it. But, there's a lot of people who just don't. But the way you protect yourself is you push on through it. You have to, regardless of what is going on, you have to push yourself. We adjust. So no matter what, like all of this, whatever it feels like, you have to go through the short-term volatility in the market, and realizing that even if you just go to work, you lose your job, there are people who will still leave their retirement money alone. I know we have this one member, this brother. He, was stays in logistics, and didn't do anything wrong. Did nothing wrong. Comes back to work, and they say, oh, well, you were supposed to call something in. He didn't call it in. And they said, because you didn't call it in, but he wasn't supposed to call it in. Because with him and the other person that it happened with, they said, nah, let's go on, even ain't nobody gonna call this in. But the other person called it in and said they weren't gonna call it in because there was no damage there. So we trusted the person because there was no damage there, was nothing. But the other person, even though there was no damage there, called it in as an incident. So he loses his job. Even though he lost his job, the brother still never touched his money. I said, you're not going to touch your money? That was at the beginning of COVID. He said, no, I'm not going to touch my money. I was like, this is some powerful stuff. He was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm not going to touch my money. I'm going to use my savings. He did that. We set up the rollover. He rolled over his money. This, everything. Within a couple of months, he got another job lined up quick. I was like, that's the kind of guts we have to have. You know how so many people would have just been kicking rocks, mad, wasting their retirement, taking their money out. You know what I'm saying? That's how you protect your money. You're determined. He was like, I'm not going to let them mess up my future with their stupidness. They knew all those years he had put into that company. They knew that it was not a legitimate hit. They knew that they weren't supposed to let him go. But then when COVID hit and everything, of course, they wanted him back and everything. And he was like, no, I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm not coming back. And I'm going to find something else. You know what I mean? They knew they were wrong. And because I got him to pursue the wrongful dismissal, and we pursued it, and first they had turned it down, and I said no because it was a wrongful dismissal and it was wrong. And then we pursued it, and they had to pay him the back unemployment that was supposed to be paid, but he went that whole time without any unemployment because they had done that, you know what I mean, and was saying, but I was like, no, that was wrong, and they weren't supposed to because that wasn't, whatever. I pressed it on. We pressed it on, and that we got that, and he got that money. And but when it was at the new job, but we pushed it. But that's how we're all in. That's what AfroEconomics represents. It's not just the investment, but it's just that we're family. And that's his money. And he got all that money. And it wasn't like, oh, well, I helped you get the money, so part of that money is mine, blah, blah, blah. No, that's all his money. He got that money. And that's a blessing. That's team. That's a team. That's family. That's it. That's how we roll. But, I don't know. You can't buy that. When you get in a position and you can't, that's how you protect yourself. You get yourself in a position, into a team experience where you're valued. And then also, a final point I just want to share, and we're going to go, is that I have discovered that a key way to protect yourself as an investor and as a human being is that deciding that joy is a personal experience. That some people just decide to be happy and some people just don't decide to be happy. Like, joy is a personal experience. You and I and all of us have at least 100 things to be upset, bitter, mad about. But we decide to be happy. We decide to focus on the joy. And that's how we win. And that's why we're winning. Because we don't end up with, when we focus on the joy, because, God promised us joy and peace. It was promised to us. So at any time, like any bitterness, any time that, the machine tries to come down on you hard, you have to realize that that's just a joke trying to get the joy in you to shut down, and you can't let it win. But joy is a personal decision. It's a personal accomplishment. And every time I feel that sense of peace and that joy, I know that I've won and that I'm winning. And some people decide to win, and some people just decide not to. And money can't give you that. Money can't do that. Like, there's some people that are broke and they got that joy, and there's some people that got money and they just as miserable as they can be. Money can't give that to you. You know, it's priceless. But if you can combine, you know, get that money right and get that joy, you know, you have it all. That's true protection. True protection. You know, and I believe that the money comes so much easier when you allow the joy and peace to fill your heart. It really does. I believe that joy, it's just, you know, it's the key to real wealth. It's a real wealth. That's why they say, like, it's there's this level of money where people are happy. And once they go over that, there's not a whole bunch of happy that's added to it. Like, there's some research that was done, and it was like, you know, like somewhere like 100,000 or something like that. Like, you know, where over that, like, you know, salary or something, like the happy quotient, you know, doesn't get, you know, much higher. So, you know, that people, you know, are, you know, it doesn't, that's why, like, people say, oh my God, he had $1 billion. Why'd he jump off the bridge? You know, well, it's probably, if you look back, sometimes they'll say they were their happiest when they were trying to get to the $1 billion, you know, that the $1 billion is not where the happy is. The happy is in there, wherever their peace is. Let's keep that. Let's keep that. That's how you protect yourself. That's how you protect yourself. Protect your peace. And that's where the real money is. That's where the wealth is. I hope you get my message. I love you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. And if I figure out how to do it, I might play this again tonight. But this was played on July 20th, 2022. And as I playing on traveling south with my husband, Michael Robinson, to celebrate his birthday. His birthday is Monday, July 25th. So we're going to have a good time. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Yes, indeed. But we're going to definitely take care of you, Miss Davis. Got some stuff for you. Look at my little screen. I don't know if y'all saw what my screen just did, but it was not pretty. Yes, and you were focusing on that joy. Thank you so much, Mr. Dan. Thank you. Thank you. I would tell him a happy birthday. Indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. Have a blast. We're going to have a blast. Oh, thank you, Ms. Bossy. You want a summer break? You want a real break? She works at the school. They really having fun. You really. Thank you, Mr. Jenkins. We didn't forget you, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones at home having a good time today. Bernice said, what do you think of online services like Webull, dollar cost averaging? Thank you. Miss Bernice, make sure you join AfroEconomics. We have a complimentary membership and an e-membership. Now that's the best online service. And I can help you with things like dollar cost averaging. I don't know what the Weeble is, but we can investigate it together. Thank you, Ms. Clements. Thank you, Bernice. I like your little logo. Thank you, Ms. Fleming. All righty. Y'all be good. Take care. Bye-bye.